Derek, tell us a little bit about your super cool techniques that you teach to some of your clients. And what is it, the leap method, or
that's the
are that
overall
different?
coaching style that I've developed, and that's still continuing to be improved and updated. But the one of the cool things I want to talk about, because people can take this and go play with it themselves, is this unified field manifestation technique that we developed and tested and basically proved that it works 100% of the time in our business mastermind. And this was adapted from the work of Lynn McTaggart, who's a colleague of Joe Dispenza. She's done a lot of this research into healing, physical ailments and things like that. But she found groups of about 8 people. They can form a circle and intend for one receiver to be healed of, whatever, a skin rash or cancer or whatever it is. And they have great success with healing the receiver, but they have even better success healing the intenders, the people who are actually sending the intention. So there's a sort of double rebound effect. This the law of reciprocity. There's more coming back to the senders than the receiver. And I thought, that's super cool. Let's see if we can harness that for business, because I train entrepreneurs. So the key to this is having a very clear description of what you're intending. So we spend a lot of time, maybe half an hour even, like say we get 8 people in a group together and we're going to do one of these. A lot of times, we'll have people put their hand up. Who wants to be the receiver today? What is it that you want to intend? If we're all going to intend for this future for you, we all want to be able to do it as best we can. So we get very clear on what it is that we're intending to happen. And partly that's kind of like interviewing someone. Like, what does it mean if you do a 7-figure launch? Like, what does that mean for you? How does it feel? Is there a specific moment that we can all sort of, talking about time, right? Is it when you see like the 7 figures roll into your bank account, or is it when you do your first session with your group, or is it when whatever it is, there's a specific moment when you feel like, wow, I achieved this thing, where you can sort of, you're at the finish line, right? So we usually go to that moment, and that's where the emotions are strongest. And I call this emotional sailing. Like you use the strong emotions to help propel the timeline. So once you have a clear, once you have a clear way of saying, our intention is for Beth to have a 7-figure launch, and she'll be celebrating with a sailing trip around the Mediterranean or whatever, right? So whatever it is, and we all understand what we're doing, and then we sort of we do a little warm up with now I'm trying to remember the name. It's basically that the loving kindness meditation. We sort of bring us into that state, and then we spend just 10 to 12 minutes doing the actual intending. And usually, what happens is that as soon as I say, okay, go, it changes everyone's states immediately. It feels like you're jumping into a river of light. You're all jumping in together, and everyone can feel it. It's like whoosh, the whole group becomes unified with a single intent, a single consciousness, and it makes everyone cry, get goosebumps, all these things. And a lot of times, everyone is getting visions. Like, they can see this thing happening, but they're also getting information of like, who is part of this? Who are the customers? Who are the clients? Are there angels involved? Like, are there people's higher selves or dead relatives getting involved? Are there specific clothing that you're wearing the day that you finish the launch? It's like we're accessing this, vision of the future. And so afterwards, everybody shares their experience. And we can say, like, I saw you on the top of this mountain, and you had this group, and it seems like you need to be working just with women, and they're like, yes, that's like, I'm going to, do that. And so a lot of times we're able to give this type of feedback and information to the receiver as well. And so the results were amazing. It was usually within a few weeks. The exact thing came true, because some of these things are longer time horizons, some are much shorter. But even to the point of like, I need to find my life romantic partner because that's taking too much of my attention and away from my business. So if I can get that out of the way, then I can focus on my next thing, and that, the man shows up and they were off to the races. So, just really fantastic results.